Happy Friday. We are going to do our first installment of how to solve fractions using multiplication. So our first problem here is we're talking about a bicycle race, and the race is several days long, and the total race is 480 miles. Well, after 4 days, Nora has completed 5/6 of the race, Stuart has completed 9/10, and Margaret has completed 9/16. And this is one way that the students can solve the problems. First, Nora is 5/6. So what the students are going to do is they're going to use this bar right down here, and they're going to break that into 6. So the first thing that they do is find where 1/2 is, or 3/6, which is right there. Then what they're going to do is they're going to break each half into thirds. And this way they're pretty equivalent. It's not perfect, but this way they can visualize and see what a 6 looks like. Well, what we determined last week is that 1/6 of 480 is what we did is we went through and we said that it's 80 miles. So what the students did and how they came up with that is they did 480 divided by 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 80 miles right there, and 80 miles, and 80 miles, and 80 miles, and 80 miles, and 80 miles. Then what they do is they figure out what is 5/6. So they would highlight this, which is 5/6. And then they would say, okay, what is 5/6 of 80 miles? So they'd multiply 5 times 80, which comes up to 400 miles. And they would write that down right up there. Now this works whenever the numbers work. So in this case, it will work, and we will teach them to the traditional way to solve this a little bit later, but we just want to show them what multiplication is of fractions. So anytime they see like 1/6 of 480, of is the key word, and that means multiplication. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do 9/10. So then what we do is we go ahead and break that into half, and what we want to do is we want to do 5 on both sides. 1. Then what we need to figure out is what is 1/10 of 480. That is relatively simple for the students, and that is 48 miles. So they're going to write 48 in each one of these. Then what they need to do is they need to figure out, okay, what is 9 of those? And what they might do is they could take 480 and subtract 48 from that, and that would be 432 miles. So that's the way we solve multiplication of fractions whenever multiplication of fractions using the bars. And you might see your students say this. And the key is like 6/6, we want that to equal 480. And we want 10/10 to equal 480. So it's a good checks and balances to add all these up and see if those equal 480. Hopefully you enjoyed this session, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or call me. Have a good weekend.